Welcome, beautiful soul. You've just entered a sacred space where healing isn't about fixing what's wrong. It's about remembering the power that's always lived inside you. This channel is for you. The woman whose symptoms don't fit the textbook because her body speaks a language modern medicine forgot how to read. The woman who's been living in the mystery of chronic fatigue, bloating, anxiety, pain with no clear answers. The one who's been told everything looks fine but knows deep down her body is whispering something sacred. Here, we don't chase symptoms, we decode them. We don't silence the body, we listen to it. And we don't wait for permission from a broken system to start healing. We reclaim that power now through root cause medicine, intuitive wisdom, functional testing, energy alignment, and sacred self trust. I help you come home to the truth that healing isn't outside of you, it's within you and always has been. If this is you, you're not alone and you're not broken. You're remembering. Subscribe and hit the bell because healing here is rooted in wisdom, anchored in truth, and activated in power.
Hey, Dr. Julie Lynn, and today I'm going to teach you how to see different patterns and trends in your CBC. So if you've had a recent CBC lab with differential done, I want you to pop into your client portal and pull up your most recent CBC lab, as well as any test you've had done over the last couple of years. What you're going to do is you're going to look at each marker. And women who are experiencing chronic pain and symptoms that no one can explain often have these trends in their labs. So if you look at one of the most furthest out lab that you have, you might notice that your marker results are kind of in the middle, maybe a little lower or higher, but they're kind of close to that middle range. However, over time, what we see is women who specifically are experiencing chronic pain and symptoms, their trend to either the low side of the marker or the higher side of the marker can be seen steadily over time. So you may have had your labs done at 25 and you were kind of more in the middle. But as time went on, you started to experience symptoms. So you got more labs done and you may notice where you're a little bit further from the middle, and so on, right? And you go either higher or lower depending on the situation that you're experiencing. But this is a common trend that you will see. And even though you are moving further away from the middle, more optimal, because you're in this wide range of normal based on conventional labs, even though your body is saying it's not functioning at its peak, it's not functioning optimally, the doctor says nothing's wrong, everything is fine, because your labs are within that normal range, which is pretty wide and is why so many women fall through the cracks. But if you look at your labs and you see this pattern, this trend in either direction, then I want to encourage you to really think about having your labs looked at from a more functional, optimal perspective. Because when we look at labs, our normal range is more in that middle, because we know that that's where our bodies function at their peak. That's where our bodies experience homeostasis. And you're probably not going to have a whole lot of symptoms if your labs are in that optimal range. And I know that your body's not functioning optimally because your body's telling you it's not. Because your body is speaking to you in the only language it knows how: symptoms. And when you're experiencing symptoms alongside labs that are doing this in either direction, that tells us that your body's signals are accurate, right? They're always accurate, no matter what. But now we have your symptoms as well as your labs to help guide us into getting to the root or roots of what's going on. One of the most common things that I have seen is involving thyroid tests, right? Your doctor, if you're going in and saying, hey, I feel tired all the time, I'm foggy brained, I cannot concentrate, I have afternoon crashes, your doctor's going to order thyroid test. Oftentimes, depending on how long you've been going with these symptoms, they come back normal. But what we see is that trend of the test over time either going down or up. And your doctor's saying, yeah, everything's fine, it's normal. But your symptoms are saying, I'm not functioning at my best. And I'm struggling. I need help. And your thyroid test also says, you are struggling. Your body is not functioning optimally. So we see that trend. And when we do see that trend, that's our call to action, right? Are you going to continue to allow that disruption and dysfunction to continue, which most doctors do because they know, they see it, they know exactly what's going to happen. And this is the watchful wait pattern that so many women fall into because your doctor sees that trend too. And that's why they're telling you, come back in 6 to 8 months for more labs, right? And follow up. Because they're waiting for your lab markers to go outside of the normal, either too low or too high. Because guess what? Then they can give you a diagnosis. But I know that that's not how disease happens. You don't get a disease diagnosis overnight. In fact, we see the process occurring long before that diagnosis is ever made. But this is where modern medicine fails us. Because your body is screaming, sending you signals as symptoms. The lab markers are doing this. Nobody's listening. You're fine. Everything's normal. Carry on. So you do, but eventually you get that diagnosis and you're like, oh my gosh, now I have a diagnosis. But there are so many things that could have been done in this phase and that trend of up or down that could have helped you not only eliminate, minimize your symptoms today, but could have helped prevent the diagnosis in the first place. Because your body's asking for support. And once you give it support, guess what? You feel better. Body can function. We're back in homeostasis. We're taught to suppress, silence, minimize, and ignore our symptoms. But our symptoms are guides to our healing. They are the first alarm that tells us something's wrong. Then our labs are confirmation and direction on where to go next. And when we combine the two together, not only do you get answers and direction, but you get healing. Healing from a whole new place. Prevention. You get to prevent the diagnosis later. And this is the power of the work that I do with my clients. It's not about making you feel better today. It's about helping your body function, right, in the regulated state that it craves, that it wants to be in. Because when we're functioning in a most optimal state, we're not in the disease process. Think about that. When there's no disruption or dysfunction, then there's no damage or disease. So, if you are someone who's experiencing chronic pain and chronic symptoms that no one can explain, then I want to encourage you to book a Solera Lab review with me. Let's take a deep dive into every single marker. Let's uncover what others miss. And let's get your body back to functioning at its peak. So you can not only feel better today, but prevent a diagnosis later. I hope this video was helpful. And please, until next time, remember, your body and symptoms hold the keys to your healing. You just have to learn to listen. Bye for now.